Ohio. Sharm el-Sheikh, the resort town in Egypt on the southernmost tip of the Sinai Peninsula on the coast of the Red Sea of the Egyptian Riviera. One of the regional centers of governorship, the Southern Sinai. Known since the Ottoman Empire and being called in the years of the Israeli presence of 1967-1982 as Ophir, being the small settlement in the 1978, because of convenient location, good climate and the rich natural world, the city gained popularity among tourists. The distance from Cairo on the highway of 500 km, the extent of an air route is 385 km. The new and continuing building opposite to the island, the Tyrant. Historically in the city it wasn't conducted continuous single building and therefore it grows by development of a set of certain areas. The main city street, the Handout Peace Road, connects the city stretched along the seashore in a whole. In translation from Arab, Sharm el-Sheikh, the bay, Gulf of the Sheikh. Sharm el-Sheikh extends from the northeast on the southwest on nearly 30 kilometers along the west bank of the Gulf of Aqaba, having within the city of the bay Nama Bay and others. From the southwest the city borders on National Park of Ras Mohammed on an extreme southern point of the Sinai Peninsula, in the northeast, on the National Reserve Nabk. From the northwest is covered from winds and bad weather with a ridge of the Sinai Mountains, and from the southeast is washed by the Red Sea. Near the coastline of the city there is an island, the Tyrant. Sharm el-Sheikh has tropical desert climate with very small annual amount of precipitation. In January, February nighttime temperatures fall up to +15 C. More rare up to +10 C. Sometimes there is quite cool wind. The lowest temperature is noted on February 23, 2000 and I made +5 C. But the bright sun shines in the afternoon and numerous visitors of beaches sunbathe and bathe. In the summer temperature can rise up to +45 C and more in a shadow. The absolute maximum was established on June 3, 2013 and I made +46 C. August, which average maximum makes +38 C, is warmest month, and even at night temperature below +30 C as a rule doesn't fall. Water temperature doesn't fall to the sea below +20 C even in the winter. Rises to the level of +28 C in the summer. Rains in Sharm el-Sheikh are very rare, air dry and warm at all seasons of the year. Population 1996 4306, 2015 73000. The resort town consists of several areas built along the coast around the main gulfs. Bays. Sharm el-Maya. The valley area at the bay of the same name with port located in the southwest of the resort and the old market, well known for the sandy beaches, hotels and East Market. In the residential district the Old City. Hadaba Amsid, including the adjoining residential districts Aida Tower, Mercato, the area on the height with hotel and residential quarters, the leisure centers and coral beaches at the rocky coast of the same bay. Hai, no, the area with cult and residential buildings. Nama Bay. The most famous tourist place, the informal center of Sharm el-Sheikh. This area differs in existence near hotels of elite shopping centers, casino, sports grounds, the centers for diving, scuba diving, restaurants, nightclubs and so on, and also Clio Park and the pedestrian avenue promenade along the sea. The Namabe beaches, almost everything with a sandy bottom. Gardens Bay. The area with hotels, the majority, 5-star and 4-star. Coral Bay. The area with hotels and the diving centers. Sharks Bay. The area with hotels and the diving centers. Ras Nasrani. Including Soho, Muntaza, the area of business centers and hotels which the airport adjoins. Nab Bay. The most remote area in several kilometers to the northeast from Namabe, towards the National Reserve Nab. Opposite to the island the Tyrant. As Sharm el-Sheikh is limited to 2 national reserves leaving to the sea, the line of the coast which can be occupied with constructions has length about 30 km. Now the practical all sites of the coast suitable for construction of built-up elite hotels are allocated under construction of new housing estates. The city continues to grow deep into coasts towards a mountain ridge. The most known districts and the residential districts of Sharm el-Sheikh are Nalma, the Old City, Hadab, Aida, the Tower, or Mercato, Delta Charm and Soho, High Salam, Nur, Riviera, High Salam, Chris, Nab Bay. Many new hotel and inhabited residential districts are under construction. Old Sharm, Sanchain, Sani Lake, Muntaza, many others. Around the international airport Sharm el-Sheikh are located. Raub, Aymar, Muntaza. In the city there are no high-rise and even multi-storied buildings. As a rule, houses are built in the form of small complexes, well-planned 1- and 2-storied country houses and also townhouses which, as well as numerous 2- and 3-storied hotels, are concentrated around well-planted trees and shrubs territory with modern infrastructure, shops, restaurants, pools and gardens. The geographical location of the city causes its transport value for all Sinai Peninsula. Sharm el-Sheikh, Air Gate of Sinai. The international airport of Sharm el-Sheikh, before Ras Nasrani, the first and biggest international airport on the Sinai Peninsula. Through there pass air traffics of both Sharm el-Sheikh and other resorts of the peninsula, Dhaka, Tabi, Nuweibi. The vast majority of tourists and guests arrives to the peninsula and comes back from it in airway. Motor transport. The majority of highways of Sinai, except some low-loaded roads of the peninsula conducting from its depth to Ahmad Hamdi's tunnel, pass through Sharm el-Sheikh. All roads are supported in good condition, are equipped, except traffic lights, and constantly develop. And the city service of car rental and light scooters is developed, and for several days it is possible to survey Sharm el-Sheikh and its vicinities independently. The traffic police is, as a rule, very loyal to foreigners. From bus station of the city to the different cities of Nizhny Novgorod of Egypt, regular long-distance buses go. City transport in Sharm el-Sheikh is presented by generally share taxis which move on the city without indication of routes. Passengers vote and ask the district of the city and schedules. Nevertheless, due to their large number, expectation doesn't exceed, as a rule, 1-2 minutes in the afternoon. Business have private taximotor which total number much more exceeds demand in view of what taxi drivers call signals. Everyone standing at hotel and going on the sidewalk in the same direction is developed, and the trip to any end of the city is quite available at any time. The sea message is limited to regular flights to Hurghada, about 2 hours in way. And also the cruise and excursion routes organized, as a rule, by large travel agencies from the main port and piers in separate parts of the city. The internal aviation message of the city is very active. In day from Sharm el-Sheikh about 10 flights to Cairo are made. There are flights to Luxor, Hurghada and other cities. Sharm el-Sheikh, the good place for scuba diving. Clear, warm and transparent water, the rich underwater world and a large number of coral reefs create good conditions for occupation diving and snorkeling both in the winter and in the summer. To services of tourists, numerous diving clubs, schools of scuba diving, the yacht, instructors and also rental centers of masks, flippers, aqualungs and to that the similar equipment. For judges of beauty of the underwater world, excursions in National Park of Ras Mohammed will be organized by the differing big variety of corals and also other forms of sea flora and fauna. In the Gulf of Suez there is a transport ship, Tistel Gorm, which sank in 1941 with military freight on board, and to excursions of the divers having the corresponding preparation and the certificate are made. Practically on all coast of Sharm el-Sheikh, except for some beaches, it is necessary to enter water in special footwear, as at the coast sharp coral reefs on which besides there are a lot of sea hedgehogs begin. Appearance of jellyfishes and sharks in coast is extremely rare, though in isolated cases business reach death of tourists from the last. On the coast of Sharm el-Sheikh the set of hotels, beaches, vacation spots is located. More than 200 hotels of a different class and price category work in the city. Practically in all hotels pools are arranged and also free access of bus transportation to beaches is provided. On beaches except bathing and fire the full range of services on snorkeling, diving, water skiing and scooters is offered, to swimming on boats with a glass bottom and in bathyscaphes, on underwater and other sea excursions. Housing construction is developed, the climate and modern infrastructure attract investors from various countries. On all coast and also on other free sites of the city construction of new hotels, housing estates, the centers of entertainments continues. For rest of citizens of Russia, Ukraine, the European Union and some other countries the visa-free regime works in the city, as well as on the rest of the Sinai Peninsula. The free so-called Sinai stamp allowing stay up to 15 days and sufficient for stay on all Sinai. And also for departure to Israel and Jordan. And the tourist visa for $25 allowing finding of 30 days in all territory of Egypt. Obligatory if trips to pyramids and to Luxor are planned. Are made out at the airport at the choice of the tourist. In 2007 the new terminal of the international airport capable to accept and release up to 50 planes a day opened. In the city the International Medical Center works. In the city, around Hai, Nor, constructed new Orthodox church and the big mosque. The biggest is open in 2007, before completion of the mosque in the old city. Life in the city is constructed around the tourism industry. The vast majority of tourists in the city, from Russia and the CIS countries, the share of vacationers from Italy and Poland is also considerable, it is less, from the other countries. The majority of signs is duplicated in Russian. From the city popular bus and plane excursions in neighboring sites, Egyptian Cairo, Pyramids of Giza, Alexandria, Luxor, Street. Catherine's Monastery, Mount Mosiah, Israeli Jerusalem, other cities into the Dead Sea, the Palestinian Bethlehem, the Jordanian Petra will be organized. Nightlife of Sharm el-Sheikh is well known for the discos, nightclubs, casino and show representations. In the city, besides usual, the so-called touristic police, specially trained employees whose task consists in prevention of any problems at city visitors' function. To the main local and neighboring attractions, the available tourists who arrived in Sharm el-Sheikh belong: the Sinai Mountains with Mount Mosiah and the adjoining street, Catherine's Monastery with the burning bush, National Reserve Ras Mohammed, National Reserve Napk, coral reefs of the island Tyrant, the Old City with East Market, the Old Market, and Survey Rock. The area Namabe with trade and entertaining quarter, artificial falls, pedestrian promenade and the panorama charm. Entertainment complex, 1001 nights, and the accompanying trade gallery in Hadab. Entertainment complex of Hollywood. Square of Soho. New Aquapark in Hadab. Talio Park in Namabe. Dolphinarium in Napka. The good geographic location of Sharm el-Sheikh allows Egypt to block if necessary from his port navigation through the Tiransky passages, representing the only entry in the Red Sea for Jordan and Israel. In 1967, Egypt tried to put into practice such opportunity that led to armed conflict with Israel, Six-Day War. Earlier in the region it was rather intense. Till 1979 Egypt was involved in several local wars, and in the latest time in 2005 there was a single attack of the Islamic fanatics dissatisfied with tourist openness of the city. Now in the territory of the city several military units are deployed. The modern leadership of Egypt refused an aggressive course in the Middle East and contributes to the development of tourism. Tourism became for the country the second largest income item after receiving a payment for passage of the vessels across the Suez Canal. Income from tourism industry in the country exceeded intake from production and sale of oil. Along with Hurghada, Sharm el-Sheikh became the major Egyptian resort. The number of the tourists who are in the city, especially during a high season, exceeds own 40,000 population many times over, bringing the actual number to 200,000 and more. The government constantly works on maintenance of political stability in the region. With Israel and Egypt, the peace treaty signed in 1979, on the basis of which the city together with all Sinai Peninsula was returned to Egypt and is demilitarized works. Any tourist in Sharm el-Sheikh can use bus excursions to Israel, Jerusalem, the Dead Sea, Palestinian Authority, Bethlehem, Jordan, Bayt, and others to that similar places. Citizens of Israel, in turn, can visit the territory of Sinai without visas. Sharm el-Sheikh is in the Zone C of the Sinai Peninsula, where placement of military garrisons is forbidden to Egypt. In the city, one of camps of a peacekeeping mission, multinational forces and observers is located. On streets patrol the squads of the militarized police, which are responsible for an order in the city and safety of inhabitants and tourists. Sharm el-Sheikh is the place of frequent holding national, pan-Arab and international conferences. In 1999, with the assistance of the United States Secretary of State, the President of Egypt and the King of Jordan, between the Israeli Prime Minister and the Palestinian leader Sharm el-Sheikh, the memorandum about settlement in the Palestinian territories was signed here. In 2005, the city hosted the summit of leaders of the countries of the Middle East. In 2006 and 2008 in the city there passed the World Economic Forum across the Middle East. The International Congress downtown can accept up to 4,700 participants. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.